Who is this actually good for, who should skip it, and is it worth the price for normal everyday buyers? If you're standing in the aisle, staring at a tower that promises RTX 5090 power and a 5.5 GHz CPU, the first question is always the same: will it actually make my games look and feel better, or am I just paying for hype? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and I'm going to walk through why the ZOTAC MEK gaming PC might be the right fit for some people and a costly misstep for others. When you pick up a pre-built like this, the biggest hesitation is usually about future-proofing. The RTX 5090 is the latest card on the market, and the Ryzen 7 9700X can push past 5 GHz when you need that extra headroom in CPU-bound titles. That sounds fantastic on paper, but you have to ask yourself how you actually use a PC. If your daily routine is a mix of office work, a couple of indie games, and occasional streaming, you're probably paying for performance you'll never tap. On the other hand, if you're a competitive esports player, a streamer who wants to run 4K at 144 Hz while encoding a live feed, or you just love squeezing every frame out of the newest titles, this machine lands squarely in the worth it lane. Let's start with the real-world setup. The MEK arrives in a chassis that looks like a sleek, black mini-tower with a tempered glass side panel. Unpacking it is straightforward, everything is already wired, the power supply clicks into place, and you just need to plug the monitor, keyboard, and mouse. The 1200W80 plus Gold PSU is overkill for most builds, but the RTX 5090 can draw close to 500W under load, so the extra headroom means you won't be tripping breakers if you add extra drives later. The 360mm AIO liquid cooler is pre-installed on the CPU, and the engineered airflow uses a front intake, rear exhaust design that keeps the whole system at around 40 C during a 2-hour gaming session of Cyberpunk 2077 on ultra settings. That's a practical strength. You can push the card and CPU hard without worrying about thermal throttling, which is something a lot of budget pre-builds overlook. Now, who should actually buy this? If you already have a decent monitor, say a 1440p, 144Hz panel, and you plan to upgrade to a 4K, 144Hz screen in the next year, the RTX 5090 will give you the breathing room you need. The 2TB NVMe SSD also means you won't be fighting load times on massive titles. Games like Starfield or Baldur's Gate 3 will launch in under half a minute, and you'll have space for a whole library of AAA releases without constantly juggling external drives. The 32GB DDR5 RAM is more than enough for gaming, and it also handles heavy multitasking like video editing or running multiple virtual machines. So creators who live stream while gaming, or anyone who wants a set-it-and-forget-it system that can handle future titles for a few years, will find the MEK a solid match. Conversely, there's a clear group that should skip this. If you're a casual gamer who primarily plays older titles, indie games, or esports titles that don't push the GPU beyond 1080p, you'll never notice the difference between this RTX 5090 and a GTX 1660 Super. In that scenario, the money you spend on the MEK could instead buy you a high-refresh monitor, a better chair, or even a second PC for productivity. Also, if you're the type who enjoys building your own rig, soldering cables, tweaking BIOS settings, and swapping out components for fun, this pre-built takes away the very experience you enjoy. The chassis is not designed for easy upgrades, the side panel locks in place, and while you can add a few extra SSDs, swapping the GPU or the PSU would be a hassle. For those users, buying the parts individually would be cheaper and more satisfying. Practical weaknesses are worth mentioning. The most glaring is the price tag. Even without a specific discount, a system with these specs runs into the high four-figure range. The value you're getting is tied almost entirely to the raw hardware power, not to any unique software ecosystem or exclusive features. There's also the matter of Wi-Fi 7. It's fast on paper, but most home networks today still run on Wi-Fi 6 or Ethernet, so you won't notice a real advantage unless you have a cutting-edge router already set up. Additionally, the pre-installed Windows 11 Pro is fine, but it comes with bundled bloatware that you'll need to clean out before you get a truly lean system. That extra step adds a little friction for users expecting a ready-to-go experience. Another hidden trade-off is the noise level. The liquid cooler's pump is whisper quiet, but the case fans spin up noticeably when the GPU hits 85°C during intense ray tracing sessions. In a quiet apartment, that fan whine can be distracting, especially if you stream with a microphone that picks up ambient sound. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's something you'll need to manage, perhaps by adding a fan curve profile in the BIOS or using software to lower fan speeds when you're not pushing.